Hello and welcome to this F1 Manager 23 series with McLaren. We are live streaming this series, but I'll also be doing regular snippets and highlight videos, which this is the very first episode. So if you want to check out the full streams, they're also on my YouTube. The post live streams are available now, and we'll be streaming the future episodes every Tuesday and Friday going forward. So as we are live streaming this series, the audio that you will hear in these highlighted videos will be audio such as now, which is post-stream, and I'll just be giving you a little bit more summary and in-depth, maybe what I missed or why I made those decisions in the stream, and it will also cut to the actual live stream audio as well. So let's jump into the first episode of this McLaren F1 23 Manager series, and you'll see from the thumbnail and the title of this video, a disastrous debut for Oscar Piastri in Bahrain. As this episode progresses, you'll see exactly the reasons for that, and we'll go through it in a little bit more detail as well. But the first thing we did in the career was obviously picking our McLaren team to start the series with, and the first thing I wanted to do was just review the drivers. But to be honest, coming into this series, I already knew that I was going to be happy with our driver pairing, so I'm sticking with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, certainly for this season, but probably long term. They're going to be in the car for the next few seasons, I would say, if the series goes on that long, unless we're seeing any major problems with either driver. The next thing we looked at was the board objectives, and they are looking for us to finish 7th or above this season. So not too ambitious, and not like the actual McLaren season, I guess, in 2023, where by the end of the season, near enough the second fastest car, or certainly in the top 4 at least. So looks like on the game, we're not going to probably progress as high up as that, but we'll see how our development race goes. But yeah, the board's looking for us to finish 7th or above, and hopefully we should be able to achieve that. Looking at the car to begin with, we did a bit of a review of where we're looking in terms of the pecking order. As you can see, we're 17th on various elements here, 19th. So we're pretty much round about 8th car on the grid on some of those stats, 9th, 10th on one of them. So on average, I think we're pretty much starting the season in Bahrain as the 9th fastest team on the grid. So 9th out of 10th. So a little bit of work to do. Let's hope we can develop the car, get to at least 7th for our season objective. Following on from that, we just had a little look at the board budget. So season budget of $55 million. We've got the initial payment and monthly payments on there as well. And in the bottom right, we've got our current finances. So we're currently sitting at $25 million, just over $25 million. For me, that's good because I'm not going to need to spend a lot of that straight away because I'm happy with the driver pairing. So I'm happy with Lando and Oscar. You can take a big chunk out of that if you need to sign a driver. But as I say, I'm pretty happy. Well, I'm very much happy with both drivers. So we're certainly going to see how these drivers go this year. But my long-term plan is to keep with these drivers unless anything significant happens across the season. Their performance is just consistently poor, then we may look at the end of the season. But yeah, I think if you were maybe Williams, no disrespect to Sargent, but you're probably looking at him against Albon, and one of the things you might do there is look to sign a driver. But as I say, we don't need to do that. So the budget we're going to use is pretty much for hiring staff, certainly car development, and we'll also be upgrading our facilities such as things like the wind tunnel. Next on the agenda was looking at our development plans for both the drivers and staff. So I pretty much tackled these in the same way. What I was doing, firstly looking at these drivers, going through their stats in terms of where they need improvement, and looking at the relevant development plans where they're going to make the improvements against that stat that has the least rating, basically. So we went through that with Lando and Oscar. Then we moved on to the staff, exactly the same approach, saw their weaker areas, and then we picked the development plan that focused more on those weaker areas. We then reviewed our pit crew and the pit crew training, and it was the wheel gun stat that was letting us down the most on this one. So we went for the pit stop errors preset, and the drill is on wheel gun. So we'll get that up, hopefully a couple, then we'll focus on something else on the pit crew training. As I mentioned, we're very happy with our drivers, but one thing I did want to take a look at is our staff. And just reviewing these very quickly, I noticed that our technical chief is a bit low on the stat side at 77. So I thought it'd be worthwhile just doing a bit of scouting, see what we can find out there. And obviously, a lot of these names, if you're into F1, you'll know straight away, especially the two that I'm looking at. So first of all, James Allison at Mercedes. So we're going to do detailed scouting on him. And we're also going to look at Dan Fallows, who was previously at Red Bull, highly regarded, and now at Aston Martin. So detailed scouting on both of those. see what it comes back in terms of finances, how much they're expecting to be paid, and then we'll make a decision in 30 days on both of those. We then, on the final part of this before jumping into our first race weekend, was looking at car development. So as I said, we're starting with a car pretty much 9th out of 10th on the grid. So we very much need to get some developments into this car, start working our way up that pecking order so we can certainly hit at least our season objective of 7th. Pretty much feel like that's going to be maybe not the maximum we can achieve, but I don't think we're certainly not going to be race wins or regular podiums on this first season. Maybe we can get up to 4th, 5th, but certainly the first target is to get us to 7th. So we started with some upgrades on the car, and the focus here was really the cornering speeds. That's where we seem to be lacking the most. So we went with a new front wing that we're developing. We also went for some new side pods and then another larger upgrade on the underfloor. So all of those are in the works. That's the maximum we can do at the moment, and they should all be ready in 33 days. So I think a couple will be ready by the second race, or maybe one of those be ready for the second race. Hopefully all of them should be ready for Australia, I believe, because I think it's 4 weeks time until Australia. So hopefully all of these upgrades will be ready for Australia. Then we'll see if we've gone up that pecking order and hopefully made some progress on our rivals. So with that, we're pretty much ready to go into the first weekend. Just checking the inbox, and we did have the post-Bahrain testing results, but this was pretty much exactly the same as the car comparison that we looked at earlier. So again, as we can see here, it's that low speed, medium speed, high speed in terms of the cornering where we're struggling, as well as brake cooling, engine cooling. So yeah, as I say, pretty much the net 9th team on the grid, I'd say. We're starting this season 9th out of 10th. And with that, let's get into some practice. See Oscar come out. Let's send Norris out just behind.
Radio check.
Radio's good.
Radio check. Yep, that's loud and clear for me.
Have a look.
Right, let's follow the action now at turn 7. And nearly, just running wide.
Not ideal. Oscar. Actually, we could burn these up. What's the setup saying? 97%. Yes, that is pretty damn good. So we'll keep that as that. Let's get some fuel in, get him out for the rest of the session. We've had a pretty good first practice in terms of all 3 sessions. Pretty good practice for the first race of the season. I mean, we've got Piastri at 95% set up, Norris at 97%. Their track knowledge is going up quite nicely. Oscar's now at 76%, Lando 68%, so we should get that quite close to 100 by the time the end of the session, maybe not quite 100. He is becoming acclimatized with the track. 84% now. Oh, he's got a puncture. That's, yeah, well, there you go. That's what you get. Taking the gamble.
How are the tyres?
So that was some brief highlights of practice session 1, 2, and 3. And as you saw at the end there, I said about taking a gamble. That's because the tyres were getting quite worn, and I didn't want to bring Oscar in because I wanted to get his track acclimatization up as much as possible. So I didn't want to lose a few minutes in the pits and put on some more softs. So I took the gamble to keep him running on those softs. And yeah, literally a couple laps later, he got a puncture. So not too disastrous for Piastri so far, but you did see P1. That was quite early on where he went off quite wide of the track. So quite early on, can't hold on against him, and he got a puncture. So he was a little bit disrupted in his practice session, but overall pretty good practice for both drivers. As I said there live, we got Lando up to 97% on his setup with his track acclimatization at 86%. And then Oscar, his setup 95%, but he acclimatized a little bit better. He had a little bit more time on track because it took us a little while with Lando to get his setup right. So Lando spent a little bit more time in the pits. That's why you're seeing him acclimatized to the track at 86%. And Oscar had a little bit more track time, even with that puncture and going off wide at 89%. But overall, both drivers end up with a driver preparation of 89% coming into this race weekend. So I'm pretty happy with that. They're getting used to the car, so the car part knowledge is still quite low. So next race, I think we can improve that But the 97% setup satisfaction for Lando I was pretty chuffed with, because I don't know how many times we'll match or even better that this season. So really happy with the guys. As I say, we're not expecting to get out of Q1 now going into qualifying. The best chance I thought I could give myself is if we could get these guys really good setups, get them acclimatized to the track, it might allow them to eke out a little bit more in the car to push us into Q2. So I was pretty happy with that before we headed into Q1.
Sessions should be starting.
Let's get Piastri out, a little bit of room. Hit Lando out as well. Yep. Let's just skip this out lap.
A driver's confidence level can be impacted throughout a driver.
Yep. Okay. Let's watch. Go through this. Just going to keep an eye on their Q1 per sector time, sorry. So 27.6, 27.4, so a couple of attempts in favour of Lando there. Shame you can't keep both up at the same time, that would be handy. Hopefully that's a little bit better. So let's see, second sector will be coming up shortly. .41.5 for the second sector. Lando 41.3, so another couple of attempts. So he's about 4 attempts up at the moment on Oscar. Probably not too far. Yeah, you can see him there. Let's see then what the final time is going to be for Oscar. Our first run. He does have 1:32.578. Let's watch Lando come across the line. Expecting this to be quicker.
Remember, the delta
and it
needs
is
to be negative
4
at the
attempts.
end of the lap.
4 attempts
Keep your
on his
pace up
teammate.
in lap.
Good lap from Lando. Probably want to send these out now. Right, so let's just jump back on board, shall we? Should we jump board? We'll jump on board with Norris this time. We'll go with this one, shall we? So let's just weigh this up then. Lando currently safe 14th. A little bit of a margin on these guys. Oscar, he's probably got to find those four attempts, half a second to get in. Let's see what we can do. We're looking for greens, really green sectors on both. Certainly, Oscar's going to need green sectors. We're on board with Lando. Oscar's up the road. Get his first sector coming in pretty shortly. See where we're at. Yeah, so he has gone green. That's what we're looking for. Oh, Lando looks like he's got some traffic. Are they on hot laps? If they're not, we're going to be pretty screwed here. This isn't looking good. Lando held up a bit there. I think Oscar may have been as well. Looking at the track map here, there's a couple of cars there, so... May see some yellow sector 2s come out here. No, Oscar's still green, that's good. Well, they've got out of the way nicely there. Lando did go green as well, so we may have a chance here. Lando's right on the bubble there. He needs to find a little bit. Oscar's about to come through the line. He has. He's not done enough to get out. P17, what can Lando do?
17. I could recharge on and
13th.
box this lap. Covered.
Not end of session yet, though. Not end of session yet. Lando's done as well as he could there. Still 4 attempts to Oscar, so that's looked like what the deficit is across this track this weekend. It looks like Oscar's working about 4 attempts off Lando. Here's these times come in. Looking good now because 5 below Lando have finished, so Lando is through to Q2. Oscar out in 18th. We were expecting Q1 elimination probably for both drivers, so to be fair, pretty happy that Lando has made it through. So Oscar's weekend not improving with him going out in Q1 18th, 4 attempts off Lando. Lando didn't get too much further in that Q2 session and we finished in 13th. So the final Q3 results look as follows. No surprise to see Max on pole. It's then the 2 Ferraris, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc in 2nd and 3rd, Sergio Perez in 4th, Alonso 5th, Hamilton 6th, Stroll 7th. Great job for Haas with Magnussen in 8th. Then the 2 Alpines, Ocon and Gasly. Then a surprise, we saw Russell actually qualifying in 12th, and then we've got ours, Lando in 13th, and Oscar starting in 18th. And with that, it was time to get the first race of the season in Bahrain underway. So here we go. I think, yeah, what we want to do, strategy. I'd like to run long, but this, I wonder if we can do a 1 stop. Hard to a medium. Where's the race time? I see it. So where does the drop off occur? So anywhere there. That's where we start losing. So let's create strategy. So 129, 129. It's saying it's longer, but I think we can capitalize maybe on some safety cars and just run long. That's the way to go. So I'm gonna go with that. Lando looking like what is the, yeah, it's looking like 2 softs either way, isn't it? Really want to start on softs. I think C better option for Lando. So we're going to try and go for a 1-stopper for Oscar because he's at the back of the grid. See if he can run long, pick up on some safety cars or virtuals, get a cheap pit stop, maybe gain a few positions. But to be fair with Oscar, it's just, you know, it's very much no chance getting any points, I would say. Lando is 13th, so we have got a chance of nicking some points. So let's jump into the race and see what we can do. Very exciting, first race of the season. As I say, at the moment, it's just
Here in Sakir, the floodlights are
damage limitation, really, because we need to upgrade this car.
The Bahrain
Let's go.
Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away. I'm going to stick with Lando, early stages. So here we go. Kept him 13th for the moment. So pretty happy with that start. Oscar's remained in 18th. As you were, Sonoda looks like going for a cheeky one up the inside, but we've covered that off. Yeah, so these tyres already, Oscar Piastri, nearly a second off Bottas, gained a bit on that corner now, but losing pace straight away on these hards. So let's just have a look actually at the grid, what we've got. So Zhou, who's now going to send one up on the inside of us, and he's probably going to get that position done, but brand new Zhou is on softs, so is De Vries behind us. Then the runners ahead, mediums, softs, so no one else running the hard tyres. So we knew Piastri's going to be in for a long race. It may, at the end of the day, be the wrong call by me to put him on the hards, but we're just going to have to wait and let that one play out. Really don't want him involved in battling, so fuel-wise, we're just going to keep him as it is, let him tick over. Really, our full concentration really needs to be on Norris as we say that. Tsunoda having another look. He's going to get a good run down here. It'll be too late now on this.
Let's attack.
Yeah, Tsunoda's got that one done. And also, we were on Piastri attack and not Norris, so that definitely was not helping Lando. The funny thing is, I think Piastri lost a position even with putting him on attack, so... Oh, brilliant. Team principal at McLaren not doing a great job early stages there. So there is some pace in this old McLaren's, yeah. No DRS from Russell on Ocon, I think, ahead, so it allows us to pass. Started off looked like we were struggling with pace, but I think that's because everyone was using more aggressive on their tyres early on. We're now in Ocon's DRS, so we'll go back to neutral on this. Let's just have a quick look at tyres, shall we? So we have used a bit now, 80%. But again, in comparison to medium runners, that would be expected. Your soft would degrade quicker than a medium. Really, we're looking at these other soft runners. We've got the best softs on the grid, I believe, at the moment. 73, 72, 73 is the best out of them. 74, 75. Yeah, 75% Science and Magnussen. We've got 80%. So we're managing the tyres pretty well, to be fair. And that could allow us to extend our pit stop, although we will lose out on the undercut. But at the end of the race, we would be quicker. So let's just see how it pans out. Russell's right on us. And Russell's got us back. I'm going to see if we can get Russell back. I'm going to keep these tyres on aggressive. And see them out now. Can we get him back here? Not quite. Stick with it. No, not looking likely. Just see it on the back straight because we will have DRS. We've got DRS here as well, but always tricky to overtake here. So it's going to be the back straight really if we can get this position back. Let's have a look. We look a little bit far back, but let's see how powerful the DRS is going to be. Flicks open now. George's gone defensive, taking that inside. Stroll is in the pit at the same time. I'm not going to get it done on this corner. Can we get it with the second helping of DRS? If not, it may be worth us pitting. Overheating these tyres now. Yeah, not happening. I'm going to pit this lap.
So box now. Coffee. Just be careful with this tyre.
We'll harvest some energy whilst we're doing that.
And recharge on.
We'll have some attacking by Oscar now, just to see if he can get some pace out of those. Doubt he can.
Message understood. Okay, buddy. Let's see what we've got. Copy.
Right, let's see what this pit stop is. 2.7, pretty slow to be fair. Want to do a bit of training with the team there to get those times up. Let's see where we're going to come out. So we are 18th. Trying to think who's pitted now. Let's have a look. Gasly definitely had. He was ahead of us. I think he was ahead of Ocon and Hulkenberg. Not sure about Magnussen. We've gone pretty early, actually, in terms of who we were in a little battle with. Tsunoda earlier on, but Russell, we were closing on Hulkenberg, Magnussen and Ocon. So we need to see where they're going to come out. I really want this on neutral. Maybe just push a little bit. on these laps.
They're like recharge buttons.
Tsunoda, Hulkenberg. There's Hulkenberg. Where is he? There he is. Here we go. He's going to be out ahead of us, though. Yep. I think it's closer. I think it was 2.8 maybe. It's still about the same, so nothing gained or lost really there to Hulkenberg.
No need to push the tyres.
Piastri's lost position to Bottas, absolutely fine, because the strategy again we're on. Bottas will be on fresh tyres. Piastri managing those hards through to a one-stop. He's a little bit more in contention now, you can see, because he's now on a net pit stop with these. Obviously he's losing position, it's not great, he will be going backwards, but let's see, it might be a little bit closer towards the end of the race. We can see where we are and where is Russell. So Russell's in the pit, Ocon's in the pit. They're pretty close now. Well, Russell's jumped him, so they must have had a race on. They're going to be miles ahead of us, aren't they? Yeah. Not even going to be close. That is not going to be close at all. So the undercut, yeah. You know, that's not just our pit stop there. Might be how they're running the tyres, but yeah, that's no undercut whatsoever from what I can see there. That is where the car is at for Lando. Gasly's locked up and he's now ahead of us, so
see what happened.
He's lost some time.
Let's have a look
to
at the
Gasly.
action. It's all at the final corner.
Lock up, or big lock up on the front right.
By that point, it was just too late.
Let's have a look, actually. Is that should affect, yeah. So Gasly has absolutely done his tyres there. 70%, so that gives us an advantage, potentially against Gasly. I think he's 5 seconds up the road. 5.6 behind him. But we've got a tyre advantage now, so he's going to have to pit earlier than us, or we can at least push our tyres a little bit more than him. So that could be another position, 12th. And then we're looking for 2 more to get in the point, so we need a bit of luck. Could be a point in store for us here. We've had a spin for Charles Leclerc. Where has he gone? He's down to 4th.
See what happened there.
Hoping it was going to be a massive one and may give us another place.
And then the car
He's just lost it there.
And I wonder, could they have done anything?
Need to get this back off Tsunoda. Let's see what we can do. DRS will be opening the next line. Here we go. We're close. Should give us a good chance. Inside. Had a battle and a half with Tsunoda in this race, haven't we? And looks like that same inside. Gets it done, and we'll get DRS, but Tsunoda... Yeah, we've got DRS to pull away, but Tsunoda's still interested. I think he's too far back. He's actually got Albon, aren't you? We're going to struggle here on this back straight, though. Without it, we're going to have to just... I think we're just going to have to stay in this battle until we're going to have to bring each other up to Gasly, basically. Yeah, it's going to be that same inside. Oh, that was close. Pretty close. Avoid contact. And now Tsunoda's back through. That's being bring Piastri in.
Okay, Oscar, we'll box this lap. Box. Okay, keep looking after the tyre.
I mean, Piastri is absolutely nowhere. 21 seconds, that's awful. We need to get both Gasly and Tsunoda back.
Understood.
But it's 8 seconds to Magnussen, so points looking like it's not going to happen on this one. Play this out, we'll just stay with this battle. So we need to get Pierre as well, and we need to close back up to Tsunoda. Have a look at the tyre. Tsunoda is on the softs though, so he's going to be medium on the last run, so that's going to help us. Hulkenberg will be medium last run as well. So will Ocon. How far is Ocon up the road? As we go up the inside of Pierre Gasly, and we've got that one done as well. We can get back up the road for Tsunoda. We have
Now
got
we're at turn
Tsunoda
11
again.
now. Can they squeeze by?
Different place on the track. Same outcome. Either Tsunoda going past
And
Lando or Lando
says,
past
Thank you
Tsunoda.
very much.
We're back into 12th. I was trying to say Tsunoda's got us.
Here's the replay.
Oh my
Here we go,
god.
heading into turn 1. There's the
Albon
opening.
is staying with this battle. Albon is
Up to
interested as
12th
well in
and
that.
sniffing at those points places.
Not going to do his tyres any good.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
Usual. Where is Norris? We are... We're behind Albon as well. 7 seconds. Wow. Well, that has gone massively wrong. The undercut is powerful now. What's happened there? Tsunoda's behind us. It's not come up though. Ah, now it
Let's
has.
take a closer look. Look at the McLaren driver here. The gap opens up for them.
Tsunoda had spun. Tsunoda had spun. Now we're right behind Albon. Come on. Harvest at the end of this. Should always get a little bit extra.
Now is okay, please.
Lando up the inside. Come on, can we get back to 13th? Yes. We're back to 13th.
Can use overtake.
Confirm.
Need to build a second ahead of Alex here. We're not getting. We did get for a little while there, but we're using too much fuel and... I think that's about as much we're going to manage. We're not really gaining on Hulkenberg. Tyres are too hot. Fuel is about balanced now. We should be fine to make it to the end. Magnussen a lock up, but it's not going to be enough to drop him down below
Now here we are
us.
at the final corner.
Looking like he's lapping Piastri, so
You
Piastri's
can
been
see
lapped
the
by
lockup,
half the field.
And they'll need to be mindful of the
And
effect
that's on me,
that
giving
had on
those
the
hard
tyres.
tyres, poor Piastri. We won't do that again. Max Verstappen, as in real life, dominating this Grand Prix. The first race of the season is going to be won by Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez is going to come home in second. Sainz in third, very spaced out here. Sainz in third,
Max
Alonso going to be
Verstappen
fourth. He is under
over the
pressure
finish
from
line
Leclerc, but
and
not going to be
today's
enough.
winner.
Russell in sixth, which has done well from where he started. Hamilton seventh, pushing all the way.
Okay, that's the check.
Stroll's eighth.
We tried
Ocon
something
ninth.
and it didn't pay off.
Gasly 10th, and we have
When you
finished
get to the
13th
FIA,
with Lando
to turn the car
and
fully on.
20th with Oscar Piastri.
That's a really
And here we
miserable
are.
day for Oscar Piastri.
Poor Oscar, that's on us really. We set him up with the hards, hope to go long, get some safety cars, but that hard tire was just the worst tire to be on, and we've ruined his race, so poor race for Oscar.
And no doubt,
on me.
Verstappen fans.
And as we say, Max Verstappen has won the race, Sergio in second, Carlos in third, fastest lap for Fernando Alonso, so he takes the extra point. For us, 13th in Lando, I think maximise what we could get out of the car, and Oscar dead last. 2 laps off the pace, really poor for Oscar, but the blame is with us for putting him on that hard tyre. Drivers' Championship would be the same as the race result, and Constructors, Red Bull, as expected, take the lead on that. And there you go, that is the first episode. So disaster for Piastri, a couple of mistakes in practice, one on the team, letting him run and get that puncture. The first mistake from him, just a little running wide, not much of a mistake really, to be honest with you. Qualifying, you've got to say, same machinery, same car, less experienced than Lando, but 4 tenths off Lando, so he does need to improve on that. You've got to look at Oscar on that one. But yeah, the race was just appalling. We put him on the hard tyres. I just felt, being last, if he could stay in the DRS, just keep pace, use that DRS with those. Even if he was in 20th, just keep on the tail, and then he could go longer. And then at the end of the race, we'd have a few more options. We could go on a medium, we could go on the soft, especially if we got a safety car. But he finished, I think, off the back of that, it was like 42 seconds. He was off 19th place. So that is just, shocking. So we owe Oscar in round 2. But Lando, to be honest with you, I was pretty happy. As I say, the car is running probably 9th on the grid at the minute. So we should really be finishing really 17th. 18th, qualified in 13th, finished in 13th. Had a good little battle with Tsunoda across that race. So, I think, to be honest with you, he got the most out of the car. 13th is probably the best we could have hoped for. But yeah, that's the end of episode 1. Hopefully, we've got some car developments that will come through for race 2. I know we certainly got them for race 3 in Australia. Please do subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on to be made aware of when the next episode is live. As I say, we are running live streams, so if you want to see them in the entirety, do check my YouTube on a Tuesday and Friday for those. And other than that, we'll be back very soon with episode 2.